Hello, everyone, and a huge, warm, energetic welcome back to Fluent Talk Studio.
It is so good to be back.
It is absolutely fantastic to have you with us today. I'm your host, the curious learner in the room, ready to ask all the questions that you're probably thinking.
And I'm your expert guide for today's session. I've got my notes ready, I've got my coffee right here, and I am just so thrilled to be back in your ears.
Yeah.
To all our listeners out there, I mean, whether you are commuting to work, washing the dishes, maybe walking the dog, or just taking a quiet moment for yourself, welcome.
Welcome. We have a really special session for you today.
I think so, too.
You know, usually in the deep dive, we take these massive, complex topics.
Right, the big stuff.
The big stuff. Tech trends, global history, scientific breakthroughs, and we sort of break them down into these bite-sized pieces. But today feels different.
Yeah.
It feels a little more personal, a little more cozy.
Cozy. That's a great word for it. It really does. It feels like a conversation we might have over a coffee table rather than, in a big lecture hall.
Exactly.
And before we dive into the deep end, we should probably mention that today's deep dive is specifically tailored for our English learners.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you are at a B1 or B2 level, so intermediate learners, or maybe even a strong beginner, an A2 who wants a bit of a challenge, this episode is really designed for you.
We're being very intentional today.
Yeah.
We're keeping the language, clear. The pacing is going to be steady and the articulation crisp.
Right.
But the ideas are big.
The ideas are definitely big.
We read the source material. I mean, thousands and thousands of words, actually. So you can just sit back, relax, and let the English just kind of wash over you.
That really is the beauty of the deep dive format, isn't it? We do the heavy lifting.
We do the homework.
We do the homework so you don't have to. We read the transcripts, the articles, the psychological research behind it, and we distill it all down so you get the absolute best nuggets of wisdom.
Which is the best kind of arrangement, if you ask me.
I think so.
Speaking of source material, today we are looking at a truly wonderful episode from the English Leap podcast. It's hosted by this dynamic duo named Anna and Jake, and the episode is titled, "It's Not Too Late: How to Change Your Life."
It's a really touching, very insightful piece of content. Their whole mission in this episode was to address that nagging, heavy feeling that I think so many of us have, that feeling of being left behind in life.
Oh, I know that feeling intimately.
Like you miss the bus and everyone else is already at the party.
Yes, and you're just standing at the bus stop in the rain.
Exactly. And they also do a fantastic job of highlighting specific English vocabulary to describe those very emotions. So our mission today is kind of twofold. First, to unpack their psychological advice on how to restart your life. And second, to look at the language they use to talk about it, so you can express these feelings in English, too.
I think this is going to resonate with so many people. I mean, let me just ask you a question to kick things off.
Okay, go for it.
Have you ever opened Instagram, started scrolling, and then suddenly felt like everyone else is winning at life? Except you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, more often than I'd like to admit. It's almost a daily occurrence, right?
Right. You see someone buying a beautiful house, then you scroll, and someone else is getting this massive promotion at work. You scroll again, and someone is getting married in a vineyard in, Italy.
Of course, in Italy.
And meanwhile, you were sitting there on your couch wearing your old sweatpants, just trying to figure out how to fold a fitted bed sheet without it turning into this ball of wrinkles.
That is a very, very specific and very relatable example. The fitted sheet struggle is real.
It's so real.
I'm convinced it is mathematically impossible to fold those things correctly. It's some kind of advanced geometry.
It really feels that way. And actually, that is the exact example Anna uses in the source material. It just hit me so hard when I read it.
Yeah.
Because it captures that feeling of, wait a minute, everyone else seems to have the manual for life. They know exactly what they're doing. And I'm still reading the introduction.
I'm still trying to figure out the table of contents.
Exactly.
And that is precisely what we're discussing today. It's about breaking what Anna and Jake call the social clock and finding the courage to press play on a life that feels like it's been paused.
I love that image, pressing play, because sometimes it really does feel like we are buffering, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Just loading.
Yeah.
Loading while the movie is playing for everyone else.
That little spinning circle in the middle of your life.
Yes. Okay, so let's unpack this. Let's start with this concept of the I'm late phenomenon. What exactly is going on in our brains when we feel this way?
Well, the source material describes this as a secret social clock that's ticking inside our heads.
The secret social clock.
Yeah. It's this internal timeline that society, or maybe our parents, or just the culture we live in, has sort of installed in our minds like software.
It's those milestones, right? The checklists we're all supposed to follow.
Precisely. It's that little voice that whispers, okay, look at the time. You are 25 now, you must have a serious career path.
Mm-hmm.
You are 30, TikTok, you must be married or in a serious relationship.
You are 35, TikTok, you must own property.
Exactly. The house, the car, the kids, all of it.
And if you don't have those things at those specific times, this internal alarm just goes off.
It goes off, and it doesn't just ring gently,
No.
It screams failure. You feel this profound sense of inadequacy.
Yeah.
Anna, in the podcast, she talks about this so vividly. She compares her friends buying apartments and renovating their kitchens to her own situation at the time where she was sitting in her childhood bedroom.
Let's just pause on that image for a second. The childhood bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a cinematic image.
It's a powerful symbol, isn't it?
It really, really is. She describes looking at the posters on the wall, posters she put up when she was a teenager.
Right.
Maybe a band she liked back then or a movie star. And she's sitting there as an adult woman. And that contrast, it creates such a physical feeling of regression. Like you're an adult in your body, but your environment is screaming child. And the gap between those two things just creates so much anxiety.
It creates a sense of what psychologists call cognitive dissonance, which is really just a fancy term for when your reality doesn't match your expectation. You think, I should be in my own house, but your eyes are seeing, I am in my parents' house.
And your brain just short circuits.
It does. And the host, Jake, he adds to this with another brilliant metaphor regarding this whole timing thing.
Okay.
He talks about having this feeling in his late 20s. He said he felt like he had missed the starting gun of a race.
Missed the starting gun. That is such a good idiom. Listeners, you should make a note of that one. It paints such a clear picture.
It really is visual, isn't it? Imagine a track race at the Olympics.
Okay.
The athletes are all lined up on the blocks. Their muscles are tense. They're ready. The referee holds up the pistol. The gun goes off. Bang! And everyone just explodes off the starting line.
Yeah, they're sprinting.
They are sprinting. But you are still down on the ground tying your shoelaces.
Or maybe you didn't even hear the bang. You're just looking around confused like, what was that noise?
Exactly. And by the time you look up, everyone else is already 100 meters ahead. You just see their backs getting smaller and smaller in the distance.
Oh, it's a horrible feeling.
That panic, that tightness in your chest, that is the I'm late feeling. You feel like you can never catch up, no matter how fast you run now.
I have felt that so many times, especially with career stuff. You look at LinkedIn, which is maybe the most dangerous social network for this specific feeling.
What's the worst?
It's a minefield. And you see people you went to school with are now senior vice president of something important, and you're just, trying to get through the week without spilling coffee on yourself.
It's so intimidating. But here is where the discussion gets really interesting.
Okay.
The source material makes a crucial point about why we feel this way. It's not just the internal clock, it's the external data that we're getting.
Right.
Specifically what they call the highlight reel.
Ah, yes. The social media trap. We hear this a lot, social media isn't real. But break it down for us in the way the source does. Why is it so damaging?
So we have to remember, and Anna and Jake emphasize this so strongly, that social media is a highlight reel.
A reel of highlights.
Exactly. Think about a movie trailer. When you see a trailer for a big action movie, what do you see? You see the massive explosions, the romantic kiss, the fast car chase, the one funniest joke.
The best parts.
The best parts. You don't see the 2 hours of boring dialogue or the bad acting in the middle.
Right. It's a curated collection of the absolute best moments. It's all the sugar, none of the vegetables.
That's a great way to put it. Social media is the trailer for people's lives. You see the vacation photos of the white sand beach in Thailand. You do not see the photos of the argument they had at the airport because they lost their luggage.
You see the photo of the new apartment key in their hand?
Yes.
You don't see the photo of the bank loan application or the stress about the mortgage payments that keep them awake at night?
Absolutely not. And the source uses this fantastic variation of a classic idiom here. You know the phrase, the grass is always greener on the other side?
Yes, of course. Meaning, we always think other people have it better than us. We look at their lawn and think, wow, so green.
Well, the source updates it for the digital age, they say. The grass isn't always greener. Sometimes it just has a good filter or good editing.
I love that. It just has a good filter.
Yeah.
That is such a perfect modern update. It reminds us that digital green isn't real green.
No.
It's just saturation turned all the way up.
It is profound when you think about it. And the takeaway here for you, for the listener, is huge. If you are feeling behind, you need to realize that being behind is largely an illusion.
An illusion.
It is an illusion caused by having limited information about other people's struggles. You are comparing your behind-the-scenes footage, where you see the mess, the doubt, the dirty laundry, the mistakes.
All the boring stuff.
All of it. You're comparing that with everyone else's polished movie trailer.
That is such a great way to put it. We live in our own mess, but we only view their success.
Exactly.
So the first step to feeling better is just realizing, I am not on their clock. I am on my own clock.
Correct. You are on your own timeline. And your timeline is valid. You cannot be late to your own life.
You can't be late to your own life.
It is literally impossible.
Okay, so we have established that the I'm late feeling is often based on an illusion or, a social construct. But, and I have to play devil's advocate here.
Please do.
Sometimes the feeling is real, right? I mean, sometimes we actually are stuck. It's not just in our heads. We aren't moving forward.
You are absolutely right. Sometimes that feeling is a valid signal, a warning light.
Okay.
And that brings us to the second segment of our discussion, diagnosing the stuck feeling.
Right.
Because you can't fix a problem if you don't know what it is. The source material breaks this down to two main concepts, stagnation and misalignment.
Stagnation and misalignment. These are two very different feelings, aren't they?
Very different.
Let's start with stagnation. The hosts use a really vivid metaphor for this one involving water.
They do. They compare your life to water. Think about fresh water in a mountain river. Just close your eyes and picture it for a second.
Okay.
It flows. It rushes over rocks. It creates foam. It makes a nice sound. It's cold. It feels alive.
It's dynamic. It's going somewhere. It has energy.
Exactly. Now, compare that to a pond where the water has stopped moving.
Stagnant water.
Stagnant water. It sits still. It doesn't go anywhere. It just sits there under the sun day after day.
And it starts to get murky. It gets cloudy. You can't see the bottom anymore.
It gathers algae. Mosquitoes start breeding in it. And eventually,
It's going to smell bad.
it starts to smell. This is what happens when our routines become too rigid. Anna describes a year of her life where she went to the same job, she took the exact same bus route, she scrolled the same 3 apps on her phone, and she ate the same instant noodles every single day.
Ugh, the noodle detail really got me. It's like you are on autopilot.
Completely.
You are a robot in your own life. Eat, sleep, work, repeat.
Yes. And the important distinction here, and this is key for our listeners to understand, is that her life wasn't necessarily broken in a dramatic way.
Right.
There was no huge crisis. She wasn't homeless. She wasn't starving. She wasn't in the hospital. But it was empty. It was on pause.
That is almost worse than a crisis, isn't it?
How so?
Because in a crisis, you are forced to react. Adrenaline kicks in. You have to swim. But in stagnation, you can just float there for years, just wasting time.
That is the danger of it. It is comfortable enough to stay, but dead enough to drain your spirit.
The comfort trap.
The comfort trap, exactly. So what is the solution for stagnation?
The source says, movement.
But not just any movement. You don't need a tsunami. You don't need to blow up the dam.
Right.
You don't need to quit your job tomorrow and move to Bali. That's not the advice.
No.
You just need to open a little bowl.
A little door. I like that image. It's not intimidating.
Not at all. It means introducing a tiny current into the stagnant water. A 10-minute walk in a new direction. Just turn left instead of right for once.
Mm-hmm.
Trying a new class, ordering a different kind of coffee, listening to a new genre of music. Just something, anything to tell your brain, hey, we are not a pond, we are a river, we move.
That is such actionable advice. I think we often feel like if we are stuck, we need a revolution. We need to burn everything down and start from scratch.
A big reset.
But really, you just need to stir the water a little bit to get the oxygen flowing again.
Exactly. Stagnation just needs a little bit of flow. Now, the second concept they discuss is misalignment.
Okay.
This is different from stagnation. Stagnation is boredom. Misalignment is pain.
Ooh. And for this, they use this shoe analogy, which I thought was just brilliant.
It's so simple, but It's so effective. Okay, so imagine you have a pair of shoes that you absolutely loved in middle school. Maybe you were 13 or 14 years old.
Oh, I had a pair of neon green high-top sneakers. I was obsessed with them.
Perfect.
I wore them everywhere. I thought I was the coolest person in the entire world.
Neon green high tops, they were your favorite. They defined who you were at that age.
They really did.
Now imagine trying to wear those same shoes today as an adult.
Well, they wouldn't fit. Not even close.
Right. Your foot has grown. The shape of your foot has changed. But what if you forced your foot into that shoe? You just jam it in there. You lace it up as tight as you can. What happens?
Pain. So much pain. Blisters. Absolute misery. I wouldn't be able to walk properly.
And who do you blame for the pain?
Well, logically, you should blame the shoe. The shoe is the problem.
Right.
But often in life, we blame our feet. We think, why doesn't my foot fit? What is wrong with my foot? Why did I have to change?
Exactly. We blame ourselves for growing. And this is the metaphor for old dreams.
Old dream.
The goals we made when we were 16 or 20 or 22, they are the old shoes. Maybe you decided at 18, I'm going to be a corporate lawyer. That is success. But now you are 30 and you realize you hate conflict, you hate sitting in offices, and you actually love baking bread.
But you keep trying to jam your foot into the lawyer's shoe because that was the plan.
Yes.
You spent money on the shoe. You told everyone you were wearing the shoe.
Yeah.
So you have to keep wearing it.
Precisely. This is misalignment. It's when your current self doesn't match your past goals. The host, Jake, shares a really vulnerable story about this.
Okay.
He wanted to be a manager. He thought success means managing people. That is the ladder I have to climb.
That's a very common script, isn't it? Climb the ladder, become the boss.
It is. But when he applied for the role and didn't get it, he felt like a total loser. He felt he had failed. But then he had a realization. He looked closely at the actual manager job, the spreadsheets, the meetings, the disciplining people, and he thought, wait a minute, do I even want to do that?
And you realize he didn't.
He realized he preferred creative work. He liked making things, not managing people. The pain he was feeling wasn't from failure. It was his foot telling him the shoe didn't fit anymore.
So changing the dream doesn't mean you failed.
No.
It means you grew.
That is the key takeaway from this section. You are allowed to update the plan. In fact, you must update the plan because you are not the same person who made the plan 10 years ago.
That makes so much sense.
You have new data. You have new experiences. Why would you stick to a plan made by a teenager?
That is so freeing. It really takes the pressure off. It transforms quitting into pivoting. Okay, so we have talked about the social clock, stagnation, and misalignment. But I want to talk about how we view our progress compared to others. The source uses two very modern, very cool analogies for this: Netflix and video games.
This is where we get into what they call chapter compare syndrome.
I love that term, chapter compare syndrome. It sounds like a medical condition. Doctor, I think I have a bad case of chapter compare syndrome.
We all have it.
Tell us about the Netflix analogy.
So think about a TV show you love. Let's say a drama with 5 seasons. A character starts in season 1.
Okay.
Usually in season 1, the main character is a total mess.
Almost always.
They're confused, they're broke, they're struggling to find their way. That's what makes the story interesting.
Right. If they were perfect and successful in season 1, there would be no show. It would be boring.
So boring. Now, imagine watching that character in season 1 when they're making all these mistakes and figuring things out and saying, wow, they are such a failure compared to the character in season 5 who is the CEO of the company.
No, that wouldn't make any sense. They just haven't lived those episodes yet.
Yeah.
You can't fast forward the character development.
Exactly. The story needs time to unfold. You cannot judge the beginning of your story by the ending of someone else's.
But we do that in real life all the time.
All the time.
We look at someone who is 45, who has worked for 20 years and is at the peak of their career. And we, at 25 or 30, we feel bad that we aren't there yet.
We are judging our season 1 bloopers against their season 5 finale. It's a completely unfair comparison.
It really is.
And the video game analogy works in a very similar way. If you are playing a game, let's say Mario or Zelda or something, you don't call yourself a failure because you are on level 3 and your friend is on level 7.
No, you're just in a different part of the map.
Right.
You're in the jungle and they're in the castle. It's not a moral failing.
You are facing level 3 challenges. They are facing level 7 challenges. And frankly, level 7 might be a lot harder.
That is a really good point. We often assume level 7 is just fun and winning.
Right.
But the source mentions that season 5, or, that big success, it comes with hidden costs.
Yes. We tend to glamorize the later chapters. We think, oh, once I get that promotion, or once I get married, or once I buy the house, everything will be perfect. The music will swell and the credits will roll.
The happy ending.
The happy ending. But the source reminds us that success brings its own stress. It brings a lack of sleep. It brings new responsibilities. It brings higher taxes.
More money, more problems, as the rappers say.
In a way, yes, or at least different problems. So the source suggests we reframe the comparison entirely instead of asking, why am I not there? Which is a useless question that just makes you feel bad.
Right.
Ask, what is this chapter teaching me?
What is this chapter teaching me? That is a powerful shift. It turns the focus from what you lack to what you are actively learning.
It turns comparison into curiosity. Maybe this chapter, this messy, broke, single, confused chapter, is teaching you resilience. Maybe it is teaching you how to budget. Maybe it is teaching you how to be alone and be okay with it. Those are incredibly valuable lessons for the later levels. You need those skills for Season 5.
That's such a healthy way to look at it. Speaking of difficult lessons, let's move on to segment 4. Because sometimes the chapter you are in isn't just slow or boring. Sometimes it is heavy.
Yes. We need to be realistic about this. The source acknowledges that life has seasons that are just purely hard. You know, dealing with grief, dealing with a chronic illness, dealing with crushing debt or family crises.
In those moments, talking about dream jobs or self-improvement feels almost insulting, doesn't it?
It really does.
If you are grieving the loss of a loved one, you don't care about pivoting your career or optimizing your morning routine.
It feels insulting and completely out of touch. And in those heavy chapters, the goal changes. The goal is no longer optimization or winning. The goal is simply keep your head above water.
Keep your head above water. It's such a vivid idiom. It implies that the water is deep and you're tired.
It means survival. It means not drowning. The source defines success in these times very, very differently. Success is, did you eat today?
Yeah.
Did you answer that one urgent email? Did you take a shower?
If yes, then you won the day. That was a successful day.
Exactly. In a heavy season, taking a shower is a victory, and you should celebrate that.
I love that. And I also really appreciated this source's critique of a very common English phrase, pull yourself together.
Yes.
Oh, I hate that phrase. Come on, stop crying, pull yourself together. It's so dismissive of real feelings.
The expert in the source, Jake, he points out that this phrase implies stop feeling.
Right.
It implies that your emotions are a mess that needs to be tidied up immediately. It tells you to suppress your humanity and act like a robot.
It just adds pressure to an already high-pressure situation. It's like telling someone with a broken leg to walk it off.
It's exactly like that, and the source suggests a much better approach. Instead of pull yourself together, the internal monologue should be something like, I acknowledge this is hard, I don't need to be perfect, I just need to take one small step.
One small step. It's gentler, it's more realistic, it's compassionate to yourself.
It is, and there is a comforting thought that goes along with this, the inevitability of change.
The winter analogy.
Yes. Think about the seasons outside your window. Winter's cold, it's dark, the trees are bare. But do the trees stress out about it?
No.
Does the earth panic? No, because seasons don't ask for permission to change. Winter comes whether you want it or not, but spring inevitably follows.
Inevitable. That's a great vocabulary word for our listeners. It means it cannot be avoided. It is certain to happen.
Exactly. Even if you lie in bed and do absolutely nothing, time moves forward. Life moves. New ideas will appear in the world. People will move into your town. Jobs will change. The economy shifts.
Right.
You don't have to force the reset with sheer willpower. The current of life will eventually carry you to a new season.
That is surprisingly comforting. It takes the burden off my shoulders. I don't have to be the engine of everything all the time.
No.
Sometimes I could just be the passenger until I'm ready to drive again.
And when you are ready to drive, you don't need to make a U-turn. You don't need to spin the wheel 180 degrees. Just steer 1 degree to the right. Over time, that 1 degree takes you to a completely different destination.
I love that. So let's say our listener is ready to steer that ship. They're feeling that little bit of energy. They're ready to make a change. What is the actual actionable advice from the source? Because they are very clear about what not to do.
Right. The biggest mistake, and I think we are all guilty of this, is the big reset myth.
The movie montage makeup.
The movie montage, that's it. We think starting over means Monday morning, I wake up at 5 a.m., I drink a green smoothie, I run 5 kilometers, I apply to 10 new jobs, I learn Spanish for an hour, and I redecorate the entire house.
It sounds exhausting just listening to you say it.
It is.
And by Wednesday afternoon,
Burnout. Total collapse. You are back on the couch with a bag of chips, feeling even worse than you did before.
because it's unsustainable. It's a shock to your system.
It is a shock to the system. It's like jumping into a freezing cold lake. Your body just shuts down. The source proposes a different method. Microactions.
Microactions. Okay, talk to us about these. How small are we talking here?
We are talking so small that, as the source says, fear doesn't scream.
So small that fear doesn't scream. That is brilliant.
Isn't it?
Because fear hates big changes. Fear sees a big change and it sounds the alarm, danger, stop. But fear doesn't even notice the tiny ones.
Exactly. Fear sleeps right through the microactions. So let's look at some examples from the source. If you want to change your career, don't try to write your whole CV and apply to 10 jobs. That's way too scary.
Right.
Instead, just watch one YouTube video about a topic you were interested in, or send one text message to a friend asking about their job.
Just one. Okay,
Yeah.
That feels doable. It doesn't feel scary at all. What about health?
Don't sign up for a marathon. Don't throw away all the food in your pantry. Just drink one glass of water when you wake up in the morning. Or walk for 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Everyone has 10 minutes.
Exactly. And for a general life reset, if you just feel like your life is messy and you don't know where to start,
What do you do?
write one honest sentence in a notebook.
Just one sentence like, I am unhappy with my job, or I want to learn to paint.
That's it. That is a microaction. It breaks the paralysis. It proves to your brain that you can move. It's all about overcoming inertia.
And what happens if you fail? What happens if you plan to walk for 10 minutes and you just don't?
Yeah.
What if you eat the donut instead of the apple?
This is where the concept of bounce back comes in. The host uses a ball analogy. If you drop a rubber ball, what does it do?
It bounces. It comes back up.
It doesn't shatter into a million pieces like a glass vase. It bounces. The source argues that starting over isn't one big dramatic moment. It isn't a straight line up to success. It is a collection of thousands of small bounce back moments.
I like that a lot. So if I miss a day of studying English, I haven't failed. I haven't broken the streak and ruined everything.
Oh.
I just need to bounce back the next day.
Exactly. You just come up again. Resilience isn't about never falling. It's about how fast you bounce. And this leads to the most empowering part of the entire episode, the phrase, the ball is in your court.
Ooh, a sports idiom.
Oh,
I love these. The ball is in your court. Where does this come from? Tennis.
Tennis or basketball, yeah. Imagine you are playing tennis. Your opponent has just hit the ball over the net. It lands near you. Now the game pauses. Everyone is watching you.
It's your turn to hit.
It is your turn to hit. It's about responsibility, isn't it?
Yes, but in a good way.
In a very good way. It is about agency. It is not your parents' turn to hit the ball. It is not social media's turn. It is not your boss's turn. It is your turn. You decide where to hit it. You decide the next 1% change.
That is so empowering. It reminds me that even if I can't control the whole game, I can't control the weather or the referee or the other player, I can control my next shot.
Precisely. You control the swing.
Okay, we have covered so much emotional ground. We've talked about psychology, metaphors, and life strategy.
We have.
But this is Fluent Talk Studio, and we promised our learners a word tour.
We did indeed.
The source material was an absolute goldmine for vocabulary, and I want to make sure you guys at home really lock these words in.
Let's do it. Let's transition to our vocabulary tour. We have highlighted 10 key terms or phrases from Anna and Jake's discussion that we really want you to take away.
Okay, let's start with the first one, which was the core of that I'm late feeling, catch up.
Catch up. It means to reach the same level after being behind. The context from the source was, I feel like I need to catch up because all my friends are married.
Right.
It implies a race where you are losing and you need to speed up.
Right. You are running faster to get to where everyone else is. Another example could be, I missed 3 classes because I was sick, so I need to study all weekend to catch up.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
Okay, next word from the water metaphor. Stagnant.
Stagnant. The context was, my routine felt stagnant, nothing was changing. And you have to remember the pond, right? Not moving, potentially smelly.
Exactly. You can have a stagnant career, which means no promotions. You can have a stagnant economy, no growth. Or a stagnant pond, no flow. It means a lack of movement or a lack of development.
Okay, next one, misaligned.
Misaligned. The context was, my old dream was misaligned with my current self. This means 2 things don't match up. They aren't in a straight line together.
Like the big foot and the small shoe.
Precisely.
You could also say, the tires on my car are misaligned, so the car shakes when I drive.
Or the company's values were misaligned with my own, so I decided to quit. It's a very professional way to say we didn't fit together.
Nice. Okay, the idiom, the grass isn't always greener.
The grass isn't always greener. The context. Others' lives look perfect on Instagram, but the grass isn't always greener. It means just because someone else's situation looks better from a distance doesn't mean it actually is better.
Right. They might have weeds in their grass that you can't see from your side of the fence.
Or they might be paying a lot of money to paint that grass green.
Exactly. Okay, next phrase. For the heavy times, keep your head above water.
Keep your head above water. Context. I'm just trying to keep my head above water with all these bills. This means you're in survival mode. You're not drowning, but you are coping with difficulty. Just barely.
It's a very common phrase when you feel overwhelmed. Like, work is crazy this week. I'm barely keeping my head above water.
Very common. Okay, next one. The one we advise against using on other people. Pull yourself together.
Pull yourself together. Context. Don't tell someone to pull themselves together when they are grieving.
Right. It means to compose yourself, to stop being emotional, to regain control, but it's usually used as a somewhat harsh command.
It's tough love, but mostly just tough. Stop crying and pull yourself together. We are advising you not to use this on your friends.
Agreed. Use take your time or it's okay to not be okay instead. Much better. Next word. Inevitable.
Inevitable. The context was, change is inevitable like the seasons. It means certain to happen. Unavoidable. You cannot stop it.
It was inevitable that it would rain. Look at those dark clouds. Or getting older is inevitable, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Okay, next up, a phrasal verb. Work through.
Work through. Context. You have to work through the fear, not run from it. This means to deal with a problem step by step, to process it over time.
You don't just get over a big problem instantly. You have to work through it. It implies effort and time. Like, we need to work through these disagreements before we can sign the contract.
That's a great business example. Okay, next. Bounce back.
Bounce back. Context. I missed a week of exercise, but I will bounce back next week. It means to recover, to return to a good state after a setback.
Companies can bounce back after a financial loss. Athletes can bounce back after an injury. It's a very positive, very resilient phrase.
It is. Okay, and finally, the ball is in your court.
The ball is in your court. Context. I gave you the advice. Now the ball is in your court. And that means it is your responsibility now. It is your turn to act.
I love that list. It really tells the story of the whole episode, doesn't it?
It does.
From feeling stagnant and like you need to catch up, to realizing the grass isn't always greener, accepting that change is inevitable, and finally deciding to bounce back because you realize the ball is in your court.
Look at you, weaving them all together. That was impressive. A true host move right there.
I try. I'm learning from the best.
Yeah.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, let's summarize the core message here. We've thrown a lot of information at our listeners today.
I think the core message is simple but profound. It is never too late.
Never.
Whether you are 25, 45, or 75, whether it is about love, career, or learning English, it is never too late to start.
And you are not behind. You are just in your current chapter.
Yeah.
And a first start doesn't have to be an explosion.
No.
It can be a whisper.
One message, one walk, one new thought, one new vocabulary word.
So here is our challenge to you listening right now. We want you to think of one tiny step, just one microaction.
What is one thing you can do this week to start over? Maybe it's drinking that glass of water. Maybe it's searching for a vocabulary list on a topic you like. Maybe it's texting an old friend you haven't seen in a while.
Write it down. Put it in a note on your phone. Just make it real.
And remember, if you miss a day, if you don't do it, that's okay. Just bounce back.
We want to thank you so much for joining us on Fluent Talk Studio today. We hope this deep dive gave you not just some new English vocabulary, but maybe a little bit of hope too.
And remember, as Anna and Jake said in the source material, we are cheering you on. We are on your team. Metaphorically, we are offering you snacks.
Always with the snacks. Snacks make everything better. Thank you so much for listening. You are doing great. Keep going.
Goodbye, everyone. Take care.
See you next time.